Hey guys, so have you ever noticed that a lot of those direct-to-DVD or direct-to-Netflix sequels are really crap? And it's like, if the original was in theaters, why can't its sequel be in theaters? It makes no sense. Well, anyways, forget about that. You see, with this damn virus going on, it's kind of impossible to go to the theater right now. Because the virus. So, yeah, okay, I'll give you that one exception, okay? If a movie can't go to the theaters because of a virus that's going around, then it's okay if it goes to Netflix first, okay? But that's the only reason I'll accept it. If there was no virus, then forget about it. If it's able to go to the theater, then why not? And the movie doesn't even have to be good to go to the big screen. It just has to exist, pretty much. I mean, it can't be too ungodly horrible or anything, but it can still be pretty bad. Well, anyways, forget about it. So, it makes me wonder, how much longer will the movie theater even be a thing? Like, well, there's always going to want to be those couple of guys that like to watch a movie on a big screen. Like a huge screen, like bigger than your house probably. I don't know, they say it's like 40 feet tall. That's like a 2-story house right there. That's huge. Well, anyways, so yeah, so now about watching movies at home. Everybody's going digital these days. I mean, it's pretty much the next step. Like, why use a DVD? I mean, we're not in that era anymore, really. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Why get up and put a DVD in your DVD player when you can just turn on your TV from a distance and there you go? Well, yeah. Plus, this other thing, who collects DVDs? You gotta be a dork if you do that. I mean, I guess some people do, but I'm more the collective video game type guy than collect DVDs type guy. And I have DVDs in my closet, but I poured milk all over them, so you can imagine where that went, but that's not the point. So, it was on accident, by the way. I'm not an asshole, I'm not gonna do that on purpose, but anyways, forget about it. So, yeah, so unless for collecting purposes, there's really no point to have DVDs around for much longer. There's only so much time they have left. Exactly how long, we can't say for sure, but I do have a couple of theories as to how much longer they will be around for. And this, all our music, our video games, movies, and everything is going digital. That makes me wonder, what if we become digital one day, and the whole entire planet is just nothing? Like everything that we built in the past will still be there probably, but we as a society is just going to exist in a virtual world. They might have actually made a movie about that. I don't remember, but anyways, that's not the point. All right, so let's first off, I've seen a couple of videos that say we're going digital by the year 2022. Okay, completely digital, no more discs. That's it, or at least that's what they say about the video games. That's not true though, by the way, and I'll explain why later. But 2022 seems a bit too soon. Like, there's still some places in the world that don't have a good internet connection or even an internet connection at all. And so, their only option is to watch DVDs. So, and I doubt that's going to change much in 2 years. We're just going to have to wait and see. Now, okay, so 2022. That year, doesn't seem too likely to me. I think it'll be a little bit after that. Because, let me tell you this. You know the predecessor of the DVD? It's called the VHS. What the hell is that? I think it stands for Video Home System or something. I think. And it's what came before the DVD. Now, kids these days don't even know what a VHS is. And if they were to see one, they'd be like, wow, this is crap. And just for nostalgic purposes, there's really no purpose to own a VHS anymore, or a VHS player. Well, unless that one movie you're trying to watch is only on VHS, but not DVD or digital. But I don't know very many movies that are like that, so... Now, what exactly is the VHS? Well, it was this big plastic brick that you put into the player, and it had tape on the inside, and it would play the tape, like, there's these little grooves on the back of it, and I don't know, I'm not an engineer or a technician or anything, but I think there's probably these things that spin the grooves in there, and they would play the tape that's inside there. So if you want a more in-depth definition or explanation of what a VHS actually was, then go watch some other video. But it was basically what we had before we had the technology to make DVDs. They say DVDs is the next step. Guys, I think there's just as many flaws with DVDs as there are with VHS. In fact, there might even be more. Like, okay, sure. The VHS didn't have, like, the bonus features unless it was, like, placed on the tape. But when DVD came along, they had a lot more space and memory to add extra content in there. But, for one thing, I think the VHS tapes might have actually been more durable. Like, they didn't break as easily. Discs are so freaking fragile. But the VHS tapes are a lot stronger. So, you call that a step up? I mean, there are some things that DVD does better than VHS, but there are some things that VHS does better than DVD. For example, if you wanted to stop the movie, you can come back to it at any freaking time. It'll stay right there. Of course, if you wanted to go back to the beginning of the movie, you'd have to rewind, which could take a while depending on the length of the movie or where you left off at. But if you were just want to stay there, then yeah, the VHS is for you. The DVD though, you gotta go to the chapters menu and select what chapter you were on, which might not even be that easy. Like, you have to remember, oh wait, I was like 40 minutes into the movie. You have to remember all this other crap, and your brain has to do math, and it's not fun. So really, yes, I think it was a good thing they stopped making VHS tapes altogether, because there's really no point to make them now, but they both have their fair share of flaws, but they both have their fair share of good decisions in them. And, well, digital kicks their asses, both of their asses, out of the park, because, okay, there might not be any bonus content, but screw it, you can just find that crap online now. Like, you can just turn on your movie from a distance, like on the couch or whatever, and there you go, you can leave off where you left off at. And durable? Dude, there's this thing called the cloud, which is where you store all your stuff, even if your device breaks. So, okay, I'm sure if you have a special profile or something, even if your cable box or whatever they use to store the digital movies, if it were to break, you could still buy another one of those whatevers, and can just log back in, and there you go. So, they're basically invincible. Yeah. Well, I don't know what's going to come after this digital crap. I'm sure something will. Like, just imagine maybe if they put, like, using your brain to watch a movie instead of having to turn on the TV, you could just have a mental image of the movie. That would be something. But anyways, we're going way off track. We need to talk about what came before the DVD first, not what comes after the DVD. So, how long did VHS stick around for? I think 30 years. That's a long time, isn't it? Because here's the thing. It was okay, so it was invented in 1976. That's when the first VHS tapes came out. But from what I know, they weren't originally pre-recorded content. Yet their original purpose was so you can record TV and then watch it later. Because TV, there was no such thing as recording TV back then. I mean, I guess there was if you had like a camera or something, but that's not the point. Basically, I don't know what the quality of cameras were back then, but we're getting off track. So, if you wanted to watch stuff on your TV, but you weren't able to watch a certain show at that certain time, then yes, the VCR recorder, or whatever it was called, was the thing for you. Now, so that's when the earliest VHS tapes were made. They didn't really come into the homes until like a couple of years later, I think, but I don't know. You're going to have to do your research on that one, but we're not here to talk about that. So, they were created in 1976. They lasted all the way up to 2006. Yeah, you didn't think they lasted that long, did you? The thing is, they wanted to make sure that pretty much literally everybody had the technology to use DVDs. We can't just be like, oh, 99% of people have DVDs, but just have 1% or 1% not have the technology for DVDs. No, they wanted to make sure everybody was capable of watching DVDs, because now the jump from VHS to DVD is probably not as great of a jump as freaking DVD to digital. I mean, DVD players were expensive at first, but you didn't need an internet connection for it. Anyways, forget it. So, they lasted about 30 years. That's a pretty long time. And, well, when did DVD come out? When did that come out? Well, as far as I know, 95. So, yeah, 1995, I think. That's when the first DVDs came out. But again, they weren't exactly in the stores until a little bit later than that. So, but that's when they first came out. So we're just going to say 1995. So what if DVDs also last another 30 years at bare minimum? That would mean we're going to see DVDs until the year 2025. Which sounds about right. I mean, the middle of this decade. Yeah, that sounds kind of accurate. Because by 5 years from now, you don't know what will happen in that time. So, yeah, the internet connections might be much stronger by then. So, yeah. So, yeah, it should last at least another 5 years if we're talking that, but so, okay, so what did I say earlier? It's 2022, probably not. 2025, more likely. But then the PlayStation 5 comes out. Well, it hasn't come out yet, but it's going to come out later this year. And they confirmed that it'll also have a disc drive. And video game console lifespans are roughly 7 years for each generation. So that means, say they make a PlayStation 6 and it's going to be a completely digital machine. There's no disc drive in there. It's completely digital. You have to use an internet connection for it. But yeah, so 7 years from now, in the year 2027, is that when the discs will finally die? I don't know. So there's a couple of theories here. They could last a while, or they could be like on the verge of death, like just barely alive. I don't know exactly when they'll die, but My guess is the best guess for me is gonna be the 5 years from now. That's when I'm expecting them to die that year in 2025. That seems like the most logical, but of course the manufacturers and they'll know when the best time to stop making them is. And if we're talking about the PlayStation 5 here, and if it's gonna have disk drive, that means until the PlayStation 6 comes out in the year 2027, it's gonna be a completely digital machine. They'll still have to keep manufacturing discs for another 2 years after that. And you know what? They still make previous generation console games a little bit after their successors come out. So it could even be after 2027, for all we know. It could be up to 2030. But that seems a bit of a stretch. So I don't know. All right. Did the PS5 really need a disc drive? I mean, I guess they do. Physical media does have its fans, sure, but that's gonna turn some people off. That's gonna trigger some people. But yet again, everything triggers some people, so forget about it. So yeah, all right. So we'll just have to wait and see when the actual discs will die. But until then, just enjoy what you got. Okay, well, that was this episode. I will see you in the next one. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. It's just this stupid virus kept me away from my mom's house for a while. Because, we thought she was sick, and we thought it could have been the virus, but I don't think it ever was. But anyways, so I will see you guys later. Goodbye.